What is up, everybody? What is going on? Big Saturday night to the 161. Hope you all doing well. Hope you're having a great week so far. Shout out to everybody here. We got Marcel, Hayden, Al, Steven, Jonathan's here. Who else we got? The Consigliere. Hey, man. Haven't seen you in a bit. It's good to see you on here, my man. It's good to see you on, my Consigliere. All right. Stephen B. Guys, folks, there are a lot of new names on this free agent list that weren't free agents yesterday. And I mean, if you haven't heard, there's a whole bunch from NFTs in the house. There he is. It's a party now, baby. And we're going to go over this. No, it's next weekend, Jonathan. Let's see. And you know what? Hang on. The King Chavez is up in the house. Yeah, 19,200. We're getting there. We are getting there. Approaching 20,000 subs. You know what? I just put the link in. What the hell? If anybody wants to hop on open panel, let's go. Let's do it. It's up on the screen. There it is. Ty Boogie's in the house. Yeah, man. There he is. Dev is here. How are you, my man? Yeah. Touch Halloween attraction. There we go. Oh, there he is. The Consigliere is in the building.
Hey, Don.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Here we go. All right. Let me put this up here. Oh, Jonathan's joining. NFB, I got the link up if you want to hop on too. You're welcome to.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hey.
There he is. So, guys, I mean, shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. Shout out to all you folks, Ian, Hawaiian, Ty, all these. Thank you so much for coming on. If you haven't heard, I mean, we've been putting out a lot of info on these free agents. I mean, there's teams that are declining options. Maz is in the building right now.
What's up?
He is. All
How's
right.
it going?
I've heard a lot of the updates that you put out.
Huh?
It's like wait 5 minutes and there'll be more.
I'm surprised. This is the first time I saw Mazda on doing a stream or a video in what, a month?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I was very surprised when I saw that. I liked it.
Thank you, King. Appreciate you. Yeah. He's been here since before we had a
Hold on.
We got some noise in the background. Uh-oh. Thank you, King. You're the man, dude. I appreciate you, King Chavez. Thank you, man. I mean, so let's go over this stuff. Like, for those that haven't heard, it's like right now, just new news came out on MLBTradeRooms.com. Padres declined their 2-year club option on Michael Wacha. Okay, so they've been clearing off payroll like all day to the Padres. So,
honestly, I think Padres are getting ready to sell like a fire sale. I think Soto is going to be gone within the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think he'll be gone. Josh Bell exercised his player option with the Marlins. He's going to go back to the Marlins next season. Well, Texas is bringing back Andrew Heaney and closer Jose. Nah, Billy, man, get well, dude. He's fighting off a cold. Polish show some Cheesecake Factory. You know, that'll help make you feel better, dude. Yeah, Tim Anderson's a free agent. He's on the market now. Joey Votto, the Reds declined his option. Let's see who else. And Padres also going with Martinez's option.
Do you think Joey Votto could be an option for the Yankees?
Mm-hmm.
I think Votto could be if he's able to sign a 1-year deal.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Eduardo Rodriguez, one of the big pitching names, he opted out of his contract. He had 3 years left at $48 million. He opted out, so he's going to be open. So if there's a team now that thinks Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery can on the lefty side, you lefty, you have one now that's available.
Hey,
Probably got
Jason.
a 4-5-year deal.
You know who I could see Eduardo Rodriguez going to?
Where?
Surprising as this may be, I could see him going to Seattle or Baltimore.
I was just going to say Baltimore. I think Baltimore is going to try to trade for a pitcher or sign a pitcher.
Well, I think the thing is, I think he's more likely going to Seattle because I think Baltimore is going to be in play for both Hader and Nola.
Yeah, that's true. They'll be in play for both of them. They'll be in play for Dylan Cease too.
I expect Baltimore to do a lot of moves because they have the #1 farm system, and they're going to use it either in a trade or something else. Because Baltimore has a lot of flexibility, and
Yes,
they're well under the salary.
And their owners tend to be cheap spenders. Their new owners tend to be cheap spenders. So
maybe this year changes their mind.
Or maybe they'll use some of this farm to get a big trade. Maybe they'll go for something like Dylan Cease and Luis Robert. Something like that.
You think the White Sox would do that?
Well, they can get a massive haul. Why wouldn't they? You know, they got the #1 farm in baseball. Well, we're going to pick up.
What would if the White Sox and Orioles made that trade? What package do you think goes back to the White Sox for Cease and Robert?
5 in the top 15.
5 in the top. So Jackson Holiday.
#1 ain't going anywhere.
No.
But 5 in the top 15 will probably get it done. Maybe even more than that. But #1 ain't going anywhere.
Maybe like 5 of the top. No, 5 of the top 12.
Could be the top 12. Could be.
Yeah. But
could absolutely be.
Do you see Bellinger as an option for coming to the Yankees? Possibility.
Cody Bellinger. So let me pull this up here. Let me see if this doesn't get in the way. I'm going to try to pull these up here. So I put these slides together. Let's see if they pop up. If you don't see, can you guys still see me?
No, I only see
Just the slides.
Okay, I'm still here though. So if there's no Yamamoto, let's just say now Yamamoto does not come to the Yankees. Here are the other names that are pitchers that are available. We got Eduardo Rodriguez. Marcus Stroman's now a free agent today. He opted out of his final year of his 3-year deal. Jordan Montgomery, Blake Snell, Aaron Nola, and then you got Thorpe, Warren, and Hampton is probably the top Yankee pitching prospects, right? If they're not including in trade. So if we don't get Yamamoto, but they still want to add pitching, these are the guys they can get in free agency, right? If they don't get Yamamoto and they want to invest in offense, then that's a different route they could take. But they still need a pitcher one way or the other. Yeah. But I'm hoping that they get Yamamoto. Now let's pivot to the next one here. If they don't get Soto, who's available? Cody Bellinger, Jung-Hoo Lee, Teoscar Hernandez, who's been clutch in the postseason, but he's a righty now. Kevin Kiermaier and Raimel Tapia is also a free agent today. He's a left-handed hitter. And he could be a good, fourth outfielder. So, he wouldn't be a guy to replace Soto or something like that, but he'd be a good fourth outfielder type. Okay? Now let's say they don't get Soto or Bellinger. Now, to me, I think they need to make combos. They need to make a couple moves, like Jung-Hoo Lee and Brendan Donovan. Or trade for somebody like Nolan Jones if you can from the Rockies and get Brendan Donovan. Get an infielder and an outfielder. Or Kevin Kiermaier and Ryan McMahon, who's the third baseman from the Rockies. You try to get one of these guys from the Rockies. Or something like that. If they don't get Soto or Bellinger, they're going to need 2 or 3 bats, at least. Right?
One thing I would say is with the Yankees missing the playoff, I expect them to be very aggressive.
I expect them
to go very hard for Yamamoto.
I think so too.
And make a trade that probably gonna hurt short term, but would be good long term.
Which
Soto, maybe
Soto, or who else?
I'm not sure. I haven't really thought of that besides Soto, but who's a young player that could be available?
Brendan Donovan.
Brendan Donovan. But how would Brendan Donovan?
He's 26. He has 4 years of control left on the cheap.
He
plays infield and the outfield. He's a high on base percentage, low strikeout guy, just like Soto.
So what would be
Go ahead.
What would be a Dunavan trade for that you would think like?
They want pitching, so you'd probably have to give up Clark Schmidt, either Randy Vasquez or Johnny Brito and another pitcher or prospect or something.
I'm not. I would do that trade, with the exception of Thorpe.
I don't think you'll have to give up Thorpe to get.
No, the only player I'm giving up Thorpe for is Soto.
Same, yeah, and I don't even know if it would cost Thorpe, to be honest with you.
If you can get Soto without giving up Thorpe, I would put Thorpe in the rotation next year.
I would give him a shot, yeah, for the 5 spot.
Yeah,
because I would be moving Nestor Cortez to long relief.
Yeah, Nestor Cortez belongs in the bullpen. I don't think he can handle a starting pitcher.
I agree. What do you think, Joe?
Every article I've been looking at lately have all said that Soto's going to the Yankees. Even David Cohen, in his thing today, I didn't listen to him, but even he was saying that Soto is heading to the Yankees. So it'll be interesting to see if any of that pans out.
Well, the biggest question is this offseason a 2008 style offseason, or is it a 2022 style offseason?
Well, we already know one thing. Hal's already said. He said either yesterday or the day before that he does not want to go past the Cohen threshold. The Cohen threshold was bumped up from 293 to 297 now. And they have about 70 million or plus coming off the books.
And that is one reason why I think Torres will be traded, because when Torres is traded, you can subtract that money with the money you get in for a player like Soto.
Yeah, you're getting an extra 15 million off the books.
Yes.
Torres. And if you trade him from and let's just say somehow to get Brendan Dunavan here to replace him, he's got 4 years left of pre-arb and arb. He's on the cheap for 4 more seasons. So you could then get a Soto, right? You can then get a Soto and a Yamamoto. And I know a lot of people want Soto, Bellinger, and Yamamoto. I think that's probably pushing it, stretch a little bit.
They won't get all 3 of those. They might get 2 of them.
Yeah, I think they might get 2.
3 of them will be too much for their payroll.
It will be crazy. And they can mathematically do it, but you'd have to be creative. But then again, go ahead.
I would rather see them get Soto, Yamamoto, and Kiermaier instead of spending money on another high-priced player like Bellinger.
Yeah,
when was the last time they even had a player similar to Kiermaier on their team?
A lefty with excellent defense.
Well, isn't that Brett Gardner?
Close, yeah.
He was pretty good in the outfield.
Yeah, maybe Brett Gardner.
Until his decline the last year or two that he was with the Yankees, he was really pretty steady and was a clutch hitter.
Pretty good comparison. And Kiermaier wants to stay in the AL. He's already said that. He's familiar with the AL, and again, he said he'd be willing to play for the Yankees too. And he's known for hitting in the clutch.
Yep.
It's not going to cost a ton.
I don't remember if he's lefty or not.
He's lefty.
So that's exactly what the Yankees need.
Exactly.
Yeah, lefty bat.
That's why I've been talking about him for quite a while, because he fits what we're looking for.
So what contract would you say he would get from the Yankees? What is his contract?
Maybe 7, 6.
1 year, 6 to 7 million?
I'd say 1 year, 7-8 million, or 2 years, 14 to 16 million.
Okay.
Something like that.
And basically that gives time for Dominguez to mature if he's going to.
Mm-hmm.
There is one thing I would like the Yankees to do. I would like the Yankees, if Volpe gets on base more, I would like to see Volpe run. I don't like him jumping around all the time and just staying there like a sitting duck instead of just making the pitcher work, or make the pitcher be nervous on the mound so he's not focused solely on the batter.
Mm-hmm. I think you got to put him in a good position too. we have to find a consistent spot for him to.
I would, if I was right now, currently, I would put Volpe at number 9 because I think he would be a good. Unless he can lead off, I would put Volpe at number 9. But ultimately, I would like Volpe to lead off.
It would be nice. It would be nice. And I like Carl saying too, like John Late, another great contact hitter. Like I would be totally fine with him. He would be a guy that I would put at leadoff.
That's exactly. If Lee was in the lineup with Volpe, I would have 9-1 Lee and Volpe at 9 because.
Yeah. And then whoever's second, whoever they get, but like
second.
The
one thing I would do, I would have Judge bat third. I don't want Judge batting second because you want Judge with people on base whenever he comes up.
True. Yep. I mean, I like if we got Soto, I would be batting him second and Judge third. Okay. If it was
even if you think about it, going back even to the 1920s when Babe Ruth got his number because he was batting third. You always put your best hitter batting third.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people know that, but starting in 1929, the Yankees put numbers on the backs based on the batting order.
Mm-hmm. Who do we got here? We got Stephen B's up in here joining us. Stephen B, you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. How are you, dude?
Oh, tired.
Yeah. Long day, man. Me too. Long day here, man. Yassine, what's up? Davey, what's up? Dubs, what's up, guys? Courtney, hello. How are you? Soto trade to go to the Phillies in 2020. I don't think Soto's going to go to the Phillies. He has nowhere to play in the Phillies.
I don't think Phillies are getting another outfielder.
I could see the Phillies getting a different pitcher and Nola going somewhere else. That I can see.
Yeah.
But I could see Montgomery going to the Phillies and replacing Nola.
Maybe. But I believe Phillies will be focused on the pitcher.
Yeah, you're probably right. So CWE said Boone doesn't know. He doesn't have the right personnel right now. CW, when he said Boone doesn't know batting order, like he hasn't had a good deck of cards to play with. So we got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, the Yankees haven't really had a good sustainable lineup since 2019.
Yeah, he's had a weak roster for the last several years.
Yeah, 2019 was the last time he had a strong roster, in my opinion.
Really hard. Yeah, it's really hard to put together a solid lineup when you don't have the right pieces. There's no consistency. Like, let me get you some. Go ahead.
And that coupled with injuries, really winds up. He's managing with one hand tied behind his back.
It's true. You got a lot of injuries too, and we lost Judge for 50 games. Lost Stan 50 games. We lost Rodon for 3 months. We lost Cortez for 3 months. So 4 big pieces right there.
That's another problem. You have to build a lineup where you can't rely solely on one player. Because as we saw last year, if Judge goes out, you basically have nobody that can hit. You have a AAA lineup without Judge.
Well, that's the problem with the Yankees the last few years, where they've signed one big guy to lots of money and then didn't put any money anywhere else to fortify the lineup.
I think as you had a video earlier, they've been having the analytics all wrong for the last 3 years plus. The analytics for the Yankees have not been very good.
Yeah. What else we got? Tanya here. Why do you think the Cubs would trade for Soto? Tanya. Why do you say that? I'm curious. The Phillies might trade their outfield. What outfield, Davey, are they going to trade for to accommodate a Soto is the question. And I don't know if they're going to be. I mean, they've got, what is that, 1, 2. They got a couple of $300 million contracts already on their books. I don't know if they're going to add another one, a $500 million contract. I don't know. But it's Dave Dombrowski is one of the most ballsy, bold GMs out there. So Cubs have what Padre. Who do they have, Tanya, that they want? Who do they have?
Hey, Jason.
Yo.
The reason why the Cubs might want to be able to trade for Soto is because they looks like a one player away to actually make a big push for it, the playoffs.
Who do they have that they can give them?
I just don't know if their farm system that well. I mean, I have the Baseball America over here. I can take a look at.
Their farm, I think, is in the bottom half. The owner, well, the GM of the Phillies is very aggressive, Dave Dombrowski. He is super aggressive. But he's not stupid, though. But who would they trade is the question. They're not going to trade Marsh Harper's probably going to take over first base because I don't think Rhys Hoskins is coming back for the Phillies.
Yeah, Harper is another Yankee loss.
Yeah. Oh, well. Christopher Morel. Who's that? Who's Chris Morel?
And Cubs don't have the best farm system. I think
Orioles have the best farm system in baseball.
Look at the chat.
Yeah, Courtney. Dubs. Baltimore Orioles are number 1. Tampa, Dodgers, they're up there. Cubs aren't even in the top 5.
And Dodgers have had the best farm, a top 10 farm system for quite a few years.
Cubs are losing Bellinger. Cubs get worse if they trade their assets. Yeah, they are losing Bellinger. I can't see Bellinger coming back. I would agree with that.
And Cubs probably will get a draft pick for Bellinger.
Oh, they will. 2 of them probably going to give him a qualifying offer, and he'll definitely reject it and cash in. And then, like, when it comes to the Yankees, any team that acquires him because it'll be a top would have to forfeit 2 picks. Like the Yankees gave up a 2nd and a 5th last year for Rodon. So,
do you think they won't want to do that again? Give up a 2nd and a 5th?
Depends on what they're going to get. Really depends on what they're going to get.
Last year, it didn't work out too well.
Like, they get essentially, let's see, Baltimore's number 1. Farms here. Pittsburgh, number 2. Milwaukee, number 3. No, the Cubs are 5th. Number 5th. Okay.
They have an outfielder and a catcher that's like a number 2 and 3 prospects for them, Jason. I have my book out from this earlier from 2021.
Pete Crow Armstrong's in top 100. Cade Horton, number 30. Owen Cassey, an outfielder. Kelvin Alcantara, number 76. Ben Brown, number 91. Let's see. Of course, a lot of these guys are close also. There's no shortage of position players. It looks like they're loaded with position players, the Cubs. No, I don't have enough. I don't think I have enough pitching. I don't know if they can have enough pitching or not for the Padres. So they are a possibility. Their Cubs, their farm has gotten a hell of a lot better in the last 4 or 5 years. Like, the Rays now are 7. The Rays were 3 before.
Looks like Brian Gaspin just entered the chat.
There you go. Whatever Daddy Hal wants, yeah. Yeah, the Cubs have how many here? Let's see. The Reds are top 5 too. The Cubs have 5 top 100s. 5 top 100s. No, I don't think Soto goes to the San Francisco Giants. Doesn't make any sense.
No, the Giants are more likely to get Ohtani than Soto.
I would say so. Why won't the Yankees consider trading? They'll consider it, but nobody's going to take. He's owed $98 million.
Yeah, I would love them to trade Stanton, but no one is going to take him. He's owed too much money.
Doesn't really have much to it. Even though he's. Go ahead.
And the other problem with Stanton is he hasn't played more than 130 games in the last 4 years. Yeah,
I'm pulling up his stats here, Giancarlo Stanton, okay? Shout out to everybody in here, by the way. Smack that like button if you haven't hit that like button. I appreciate it. We always try to get to 100 likes, gang. He played 101 this year. He missed 61. He missed 50 last year. He played 139 games in 2021. So 35 home runs in 2021, 31 in 2022, and 24 this year. And he's got 4 years left. And then the 5th year is a club option for 2028. So, and I have his up right here. So 2024, he's owed $32 million. 2025, he's owed $32 million. 2026, he's owed $29 million. And I think the next 3 years, the Marlins are giving the Yankees $10 million per year, right? So to pay that down. And then he's got 2027, $25 million. And then 2028 is a club option for $25 million.
This is for who? For Stanton?
Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah,
so he's owed. He's owed 9.
Starting in 25, remember the Marlins are paying $10 million.
It's 25 starting 29, 24?
The last 3 years, which includes the club option. That's what I think.
No, he's got 4 years, and then the 5th year is a club option.
But the club option.
25, 26, and 27 are all his. 28.
I'm talking about the years that the Marlins are paying part of his salary.
But if they're paying 25, 26, and 27, that does not include his club option because his club option is most. The only way I could see his club option being exercised is if he's like 10 home runs away from 500 or something like that. But his club option is $25 million. So that's a lot of money.
I don't. Well, it's also 10 million of. Yeah. So
the club option does not, because it's not exercised yet. So it can be declined. So the $10 million has to be 25, 26, and 27. His club option is 2028. So he's got 4 more whole entire seasons, not including the club option with the Yankees. So the Yankees have plenty of money.
According to Spot Track, if you ever looked at that website, it said the club option starts in 26, 27, and 28.
No, there's only one club option. 28. I have his things right here.
Wow.
See the red?
Yeah, but I'm looking at this website. I'll send it to you.
Club option. This is right from his. Stats. I mean, right from his.
I sent you the link to where I saw it. I don't know if I'm correct. I just saw it on that link.
Yeah, there's only 1 year club option.
I thought there were 3.
No, there's no 3. There's only 1. I looked up 2 different links here with Giancarlo Stanton contract, and this is his, and I'll pull this up too. Stanton. I'm going to add contract to this. Yeah, it's only 2028.
Yeah, that's the club option. 28.
And this is Spot Track that I'm on here. This one, right? If you go down, you'll see they're all clear. The only year that's red is 2028. See it? All the years above it are 26, 25, 27.
Yes. I think maybe what I'm saying is what are the years that the Marlins are starting to pay part of his contract? If you
25, 26, and 27.
20,
Those are his last years before option. There's no guarantee. If his club option gets declined, which it most likely will, then his contract is over. His contract's in.
I'm just looking on that same website, and here it says 26, 27, 28. If you go all the way to the adjusted salary, that's what it says on my computer. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm seeing.
Adjusted salary. I see. Let's see. Club option here is 25 million. 32. And that's not even exercised yet, so it's not even in effect. And let's see. I can't see the Marlins giving $10 million towards an option that hasn't even been exercised. It wouldn't make any sense.
No.
So, but yeah, I could see I could see how confusing it is because it is a little confusing.
Yeah.
32. Okay, here we go. Wait. 32. Here we go. 32 million scheduled in 2024. 32 million. So he's making 32. And then
Because if you go all the way to the bottom of that, it says Marlins will retain $10 million each of 26, 27, and 28 per opt-in. That's in the contract notes on the bottom of the screen.
per opt-in.
Yes, per opt-in. So that's if the club opts in.
If the option is exercised.
Yeah. So
And
they
if it's not,
yeah, it's only really 20 million.
20, 29, 19, 32, 25, 15. Yeah, it looks like you're right. It looks like it is only 20. He's getting 10 million off of. Well, they would have to adjust that. That was part of the deal, $30 million.
Yes, I thought so too. So
That's interesting.
yeah,
I'm glad you pointed that out. They're going to have to win. I mean, unless it's agreed upon that they're going to be exercising the 2028 option, which if he's, I can't see that happening. At least at this point.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, pickleball's joined.
So Neil's in the house. Yassine saying Yuki Soto, Jamer Candelario, Brendan Dunavan, Nolan Gorman, and Lee. That's 1, 2. Isn't Gorman an outfielder? That's 3 outfielders, Yassine. I think there'd be too much. I think it'd be too much. But I like the possibilities that they would have an excess of outfielders if they did that.
wow.
What do you guys think of that? Candelario, I'm cool with. And it makes it easier to trade Torres. And Candelario would be cheaper than Torres, in my opinion.
I would be curious if the Yankees. It sounds very weird if thinking about that, but if the Yankees offered like Stanton a Bonilla style opt out.
If they offer Stanton, I'm going to drive him to the airport. I'm just going to fly from Dallas, rent an Uber, and drive him to the airport.
I'm talking about if they gave Stanton money just to leave, like Bobby Bonilla.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to drive Stanton to the airport. Heck, forget about the airport. I'm going to drive him to the trade destination.
Well,
I'm not even going to subject him to TSA security. I'll save them. I'm pretty sure they'll have MRIs and they'll probably find another injury, and the trade will be null and void if TSA's medical experts get certified. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, Ginson was crazy. Roy, man, I can't see the Yankees eating a lot of Stanton's contract.
no.
Because why would they? Like,
They wouldn't eat it because they have the Marlins paying a portion of it. So they wouldn't eat it before the Marlins start paying for it.
yeah.
Trade Stanton's contract to LAA in Anaheim straight up for Trout. I mean, both of these guys have the same level of availability if you're going to do anything.
Then we will be complaining about the same thing with Trout, and Trout has 40.
I'm saying that sarcastically. I'm not saying to do that in reality. I'm just saying that, just for the same level of, hyperbolic contract and lack of availability purpose.
The Phillies gave Abel or Painter and 2 prospects will blow us out of the water for Soto.
And there's only one place logically Trout would go if he's traded. He would go back home.
Here we go to the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Imagine if you have a healthy Harper and Trout in the same lineup.
And Schwarber in between.
They might repeat they might go to win the World Series with that.
I might just actually start watching them to make my TV look like an HVAC, because that'll be an all or nothing situation when you have excessive power.
All right. As the Yankees found out, it doesn't always work with an excess of power.
Exactly.
David, I think the Yankees could beat the Painter and Abel package.
I'm joining right in the middle of mile 2 on my treadmill right now.
There you go, dude.
Yeah, you can't see the sweat glaze on the skin.
You're
No, it's
very
dark,
dark.
it's dark over
You
there.
have no light to surround you.
Word is Soto
Okay.
wants to be a Met. Where did you hear that word, Eric? And why would he want to be a Met?
Do we have another Will Zimmerman in the chat today?
No, not today.
Okay.
Where did you hear this word, Eric, that he wants to be a Met?
I haven't heard that.
And the Mets don't have a better farm than the Yankees, Eric.
No.
No, they don't.
The Mets farm did get better when they traded Scherzer, though.
Yeah, they got that one good
The
Acuna's brother.
Acuna's brothers, and he's supposed to be a good player, a good prospect. But
Angel Acuna something. I can't
Yeah.
remember his whole.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Do I think the Yankees should go after Aaron Nola? Not before Yamamoto. Manuel. Now Yamamoto's got to be the first pitcher they need to go after. And let's see what happens.
I really don't see Acuna being traded so quickly unless it's for something they really need. But you never know with Steve Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
Like Daisuke Matsuzaka in 2007. Can you imagine Yamamoto going to Boston?
I don't think Boston is the same team they were in before 2007. I don't think.
No, they're not the same team, but at least they picked up who's that Japanese outfielder that they got last year?
Yoshida.
Yeah, Masataka Yoshida.
Masataka Yoshida. So if they add to that and having 2 Japanese players,
I'm not even sure if this new pitcher wants to be in the same market as if I would imagine that if I forget the pitcher's name. If he would go to any market, he wants to be the number 1 Japanese player in that market. And if he goes with Yoshida, he wouldn't be. But that's just my opinion.
Well, imagine, let's say, if Seattle gets Ohtani, because Ohtani respects Ichiro a lot, as would any Japanese player, logically. So if Ohtani somehow is signed by the M's, and the M's also pay a heavy posting fee, and if the case with Yamamoto ends up being that, Ichiro was his idol, you can see the 2 of them, form a, formidable 1-2 in that rotation. And remember, Robbie Ray and Luis Castillo are there too. So Castillo probably gets demoted to a number 2 if Yamamoto's 1. Then Ohtani, I don't understand how he would take a 3, but maybe he does. And Robbie Ray.
Well, we also remember
is your 5 and Castillo's your 4.
Pitching. Ohtani won't be pitching next year.
Not pitching the whole season.
Yeah, I know, not next season, but I'm talking about the big picture, for years beyond.
And I can't see the Mariners getting Yamamoto and Ohtani.
No, I don't think they will get two players.
But then again, when Ohtani was posted, in 2018 or 17, it wasn't publicized until the posting actually happened that Ohtani did not want to come east. So,
yeah, Ohtani didn't want to come.
Yamamoto made any intentions clear yet? That's the other question.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, so we got to be cautious of that. I mean, we Yankee fans want the earth, the wind, the moon, the fires, and the stars. Are we going to get all of that though every time?
I don't know, but I think I heard they sent. Didn't the Yankees send Hideki Matsui to Japan to scout this guy?
They better have sent Tanaka too. If they sent Matsui, Tanaka better have gone there too.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they have, but I think Matsui has been helping them, trying to sway
Well,
whatever you do, don't.
Advisor. I think he's an advisor for the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Matsui?
Yeah, whatever you do, don't send Igawa there.
Nobody remembers who Igawa is.
Hey, God, disaster.
Yeah, best AAA starter pitcher we had.
Yeah, I mean,
He was the response to Dice K.
yeah, it was a panic
Yeah.
response. It was terrible.
Yeah, I think the best meme sign I saw for that is, "Hey, I got what?"
Yeah, Sonny, I think Joel's. I mean, on to something. Like, if you get Soto and Kiermaier, you could definitely do both and get Yamamoto. That's a nice offseason. I mean, I would love Soto and Brendan Dunavan and Yamamoto, but see what happens.
Is it true that the Korean players don't require a posting fee?
No.
Yeah, if you play for the KBO, there's no posting fees. If you play for the NPB in Japan, there is a posting fee.
So wouldn't that inspire people like Cashman and Howe to go after Jung Ho Lee? I mean, we need more slap type hitters. Remember, we've got, assuming Rizzo stays, Judge is there, Stanton is there. We've got a decent blend of power in that lineup. We need more contact. You saw what happens with how deep the Texas Rangers lineup was with the combination of both contact and power. That's what we need.
Well, I do. I mean, believe me, I like Lee. The problem I think that presents itself is, does Lee prevent them from getting Soto? Because
I don't think so.
That makes Jason Dominguez irrelevant because he doesn't have a position to play. If you get Lee and Soto, you have those positions covered. There's nowhere for Dominguez to play, and a lot of people.
I mean, that's really your top three outfielders if you got Judge, Soto, and Lee. So then you need an outfielder 4 and 5. So doesn't that give a spot for Dominguez to be 4 or 5 once he's back in like late July, early August?
He won't be a 4th outfielder here.
Dominguez won't be back until the summertime anyway. So.
Yeah, July.
Right. Yeah. So it's better to get coverage early. You can't be going into the season with missing holes like we did last year and years past and expect to dominate early on and have a supreme spot going into the trade deadline, July, August. And then maybe teams like the Orioles and who was the one this year in the AL? Who was the 1 seed? Was it Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Baltimore, and then Houston was 2. And then on the National League side, who was 1? Atlanta.
Braves.
Yeah, and then number 2 were Dodgers. So these 3 teams prove that, having the first few days off in the playoffs can be detrimental. The Yankees, what they need to do is build a team that has youthfulness to it and not a lot of age. You need people who are going to be ready to go in situations like that. You have like a week off at the All-Star break, and you have a week off, assuming you make playoffs in that first week of October.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to prepare for those scenarios. Now, I'm not saying that the Braves aren't an aged team. They have a decent middle-aged core now. Their core is probably all-inclusively, every one of those players, Acuna, Olsen. Well, Olsen's not the core, but still, he's part of that main bunch. That entire core, basically, even Albies and whatnot, they're probably in their upper 20s, lower 30s by now.
Albies?
Well, except for him, maybe, but majority of the other ones are like in their upper 20s to lower 30s, in that range.
For the Braves?
Yeah, for the Braves.
Most of the guys that they locked up are like 22, 23.
right now.
Yep.
I
guys
thought
had a
they
good
were. I thought they were 22, 23 like a couple of years ago. So I was expecting them to be 25 and 29 for the
Yeah,
most
they're
part.
not. A lot of those guys that they just locked up, like what's that guy's name? Austin Riley, I think is Austin Riley for third base. He's like 22. Acuna's like 22. What's it, Michael Harris? I think his name is for the outfield is like 23. So
Okay.
I mean, Matt Olson though, he's like 28, 29.
Okay, so age aside, you need people who are going to be, ready, and I think it's not just all on the players; it's part coaching mentality too. I don't think the Braves, the Orioles coaches were prepared for that 1 week off. They needed to have like constant drills and stuff, at least be on their feet. They came out rusty against Texas.
You know what's crazy though? Houston had a week off and they weren't rusty at all.
Yeah, Houston had a week off, but then Houston has been perennially in the playoffs for the last 6, 7 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
They've been winning the division at least 6 of those 7 years, and I think one of those years they were a wild card.
Yeah, it's interesting how the different teams respond to the different periods of time off.
Who do you think could be a good hitting coach for the Yankees?
Well, that's why I put this out. I was talking about this yesterday morning, and like, there's a couple things we need to. I think it's important to acknowledge. Okay. By the way, Dee's channel. I think about Lourdes Gurriel is an intriguing possibility for third base. He plays multiple positions. He's also a clutch hitter in the playoffs. So, but he hits from the righty side. So I think the Yankees want to add lefty bats. So,
yeah, lefties are key. That's true.
So, hitting coach. I mean, let me know what you guys think of this. I think it's important to bring in somebody who.
If you don't get Donnie Baseball, which I would imagine you won't,
forget about Donnie Baseball. It's not going to happen.
Right. I'm just throwing names just for the sake of discussion here right now. Here's one name that's intriguing that I bet no Yankee fan has thought of from the early 90s teams. We're talking right circa 91, 92, if I'm not mistaken. Former Dodger and then Yankees, Steve Sax.
And what makes him a good candidate?
Well, he was a pretty decent hitter back in his day,
I know that. But what, good. So let me ask you. Let me know if you disagree with me. But I think the one of the problems that the Yankees had is the hitting philosophy of Dylan Lawson, the offensive philosophy, not translating up to the majors. Right?
Exactly.
It worked wonders in every level of the minors, no doubt about it. But it never translated up to the majors. And not one person, not one coach, not one analytic person has been able to communicate why.
Mm-hmm. Lawson was never a major league player, whereas that's not the case with Steve Sax.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that Steve Sax is 30 years removed from the game too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think you have to have someone who played in the last 10 to 15 years. And
be able to identify, like, this would be one of the first questions I would ask in an interview. Can you tell the difference as to why it's not translating up to the majors? Can you explain that to me? Because I need you to explain it to the players. The young players who were disciples of Dylan Lawson responded well to Dylan Lawson, but did not respond better to Sean Casey, and the veterans responded better to Sean Casey. So a different approach. So I think the communication is absolutely critical here, and be able to identify what the hell is the reason why this is not translating up to the majors.
Sean Browning put an interesting name in Carlos Pena.
And Carlos Pena's another one. He's been good on the damn. He's a good, solid player, and
Yes, I see.
Got an MLB network, but. This is the first question I would ask all these players. Anybody interviewing for the job, like, can you tell me?
What do you think about former WBC manager for the Team USA, Mark DeRosa?
If he can't answer that question, he doesn't get the job.
No, I agree with you, but I mean, if you've seen some of his takes on MLB Network, how he talks about the hitting mechanics. If you're looking at that, how, he's basically describing, I can't remember who the hitter was, but there was a video I saw of him talking about the hip movements and whatnot of one of the hitters in the WBC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and basically how, each and every little bit of mechanics impacts your hitting is kind of the take he was going off. If you're looking at somebody who's that deeply analytical on movement and all that, and he studies video that closely, do you think that that person is going to take the analytics as well, and in addition to the mechanics behind the game, and translate both together?
Don't know, because he had the best players in baseball on his team.
True, I'm not disagreeing there. Yeah,
they didn't need him.
Yeah, they won in spite of him. Okay, but
like, can he do it with a team like the Yankees? Is the question. And again, which is a valid question, a valid point you make too. Like, you have to be able to, and in my opinion, you got to be able to communicate the analytic approach and the non-analytic approach.
Right.
And be able to communicate them to the young kids and the veteran players who are going to all have different mentalities and different approaches. And can you effectively do it in a way that's going to make them better?
True. Okay.
And this is why I think why it's such a. They're going to have to be super selective with who the hell they pick there. They're going to have to do serious homework. And if I'm them, I'm doing homework every single day, every single night right now in this offseason to say, who are we going to do this? Who is the best person to do this? And if we need a bench coach, who's the best person we're going to hire as a bench coach? And who's the best person we're going to hire as bench coach to keep the team relaxed and focused at the same time?
One guy who I think would be good as a bench coach, but I don't know if he would do it, it would be Willie Randolph.
Possibly.
I don't know if he's going to want to come back in the lower role, considering he's been manager too.
But the other thing is, it's the Yankees.
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying. It makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like saying, why not bring the...
I know he's been a manager and he's been a third base coach, but the Yankees might say, hey, we need you for 1 year. You want to be the bench coach, get these guys in line and don't mess around. Just give them the hard talk and let Boone deal with all the other crap.
So let's go back to the early 90s team when, quote unquote, clueless Joe Torre, as the back paper headlines would have it, in 96 came to the limelight. He got the manager job for the New York Yankees. His bench coach became unsuccessful Don Zimmer. Unsuccessful that he made a couple of playoff trips, but never really won the big one. But he brought a presence to the team. Now, the 90s game was definitely different than now. My relay here in making the point is, why not bring somebody with that kind of wisdom? And would you think Buck Showalter does that as a bench coach?
I'm not even sure if Buck Showalter will be wanting to be a bench coach, because he's been a manager longer than
Don't know.
Willie Randolph.
No idea.
Yeah.
I think, Jonathan, I think you're right. I think Buck Showalter, with all of his years of managing, is going to want to manage. He's not going to want to be a bench coach. And if he does manage, he's going to want to have total control of his team. He's not going to want analytics or the upper management or front office interfering with his business.
That's the difference between Buck Showalter and Willie Randolph. Willie Randolph was only the manager for what, 3 or 4 years? Buck Showalter was manager from...
But didn't Don Zimmer have all those years of managing as well?
Yeah, but he was manager. He wasn't managing as long as Buck Showalter was. Buck Showalter became the Yankees manager first time in '92, and when did Buck stop managing? Last year. So.
Yeah, and he had a brief respite in between. I think 2015 or 16, he was last with the Orioles.
He was with the Orioles. That's right.
Yeah.
He would manage it for almost 30 years.
Yep. You got a comment here.
You know, there's name that
the Mets have rumored trading. The Mets have rumored trading away Alonso for a prospect haul. I don't know what kind of haul you expect to get for 1 year of Alonso.
No, you're not.
I wouldn't expect a big haul.
I can't see the Mets getting Juan Soto.
And just to Jay Brian B's point is, yes, they may want to flip him, but the team that they're going to flip him to, are they really going to want to give up that much for a rental unless they plan on extending him?
No.
And if that's the case, it's like Soto. Is the
Mhm.
team willing to give up that much for Soto unless they're going to re-sign him? Now, I can see the Yankees making that kind of move for Soto because they need him. And then I could see them trying to sign him to an extension. But you've got to take the whole factor of, is the team that's going to acquire that player willing to pay the price it's going to take to get him and then go out and sign him to that extension?
And all due respect to the Mets, if you're going to come to New York, you're coming to the Bronx. You're not going to Queens, right?
Yeah.
Best player out there, Soto, man.
And
Yeah.
I don't think Soto would re-sign with the Mets. He might re-sign with the Yankees.
Soto's not going to want to wear a Tide Pod uniform.
And
See, it's funny too. There's a comment here from Dubs too saying we had. Why is this taking so long to come up here? This video. I don't know why, but crazy. Not one comment in Yariel Rodriguez. Yankees fan exists in a certain bubble, dude. Yariel Rodriguez is old news. When he first came out, I put a video out on the date we heard about him, the day he was talked about, and we had videos on that. So you're a couple of months late there, Dubs. So we don't listen. We don't exist in a certain bubble. We just deal with the information when it comes out accurately. We're ahead of the bubble. So and that's all I'll say about that. Like,
By the way,
good looking pitcher. He's got an arm, but that's all we know about him.
We don't know much more.
By the way, Dubs 1908, I'm surprised YouTube allows you to keep that for your profile image. Read it.
No, look at that.
Yeah, it says, welcome to fuck around, something, something, something below it. Find out.
Exit 1 mile ahead.
Go ahead. Oh my God.
I could, but I definitely see a bidding war for Yamamoto and Matsui.
Yeah.
But I think the Yankees will end up getting either one, if not both of them, and then I think the Yankees will also get Soto.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very interesting if they got Matsui and Yamamoto.
Because now you get your closer and you get your starter, and then you go out and get Soto for a lefty bat.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a nice off season.
And that also, getting Yamamoto makes pitchers like Clark Schmidt more tradable.
Yep. And it makes it easier to go out and try to get somebody like Brendan Dunavan if you want another cheap bat.
Yeah. So look, I think the Yankees need to be very creative in their trades and who they sign.
I think so
and
too.
This could be a slightly different team than we're used to seeing, but it could be a better team.
It could be.
If they make the right moves.
Jason, you had put this out a while ago, but why not get John Candelario for third?
Yeah, I would. He's a guy I would consider for third too. He's a switchy. He plays both sides, lefty and righty, and he's athletic. He's a solid player, solid defender. He's not going to cost a ton. More athleticism and versatility to the lineup, and better defense in the infield too. And you can even play him at second if you move Torres. So gives him versatility. You could keep Opie down, and you can play Peraza if you don't trade. If you trade Torres, then you have Candelario at third or second, and then whatever position Candelario is not, you put Peraza there. You keep Opie at short if you do that, and then you just got way better in the infield. So, and you save some money. I think Candelario is not going to cost $15 million a year like Opie did.
Yeah.
So it'll cost.
If we get someone for shortstop, maybe I would see Peraza being traded in a deal.
You know, and then this is actually a good prelude to what I was about to say. You remember Jason, the player I told you about the other day, the Indian player that the Jays got draft pick at number 20, that 17-year-old kid?
Yep.
Don't be surprised if in a couple of years he draws some trade interest. Arjun Nimala of Indian descent, former cricket player, age 17, out of Strawberry Crest Field High School in Florida.
If he keeps improving, he's got to keep improving and developing.
Right, of course, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Give it a couple years. Don't be surprised if he draws interest.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
No.
I want to pose a question to you guys. Do you think it's possible for the Yankees to go out, get a Yamamoto, get a Matsui, get a Soto, and get a Bellinger, or is it only more likely to be one or the other?
I think they wouldn't do it. I don't think they would get two outfielders. They don't want to spend that type of money.
Here's the thing, though. Bellinger can play first.
Yes.
So you can replace Rizzo if you decide to send Rizzo to San Diego in a deal for
I would see them doing that if they traded Rizzo.
So if they traded Rizzo, Bellinger would have to be the full-time first baseman. So he's technically not going to be your outfielder.
That's basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
but
you'd have
I would see them getting Bellinger if they intend to trade Rizzo.
I would persuade them to add another lefty pitcher, as I've been saying multiple times on different streams, because while I do think Rodon's going to have a bounce back year, he's not going to be a complete clean bill of health. I just don't have that high confidence. A bounce back year, in my opinion, for him is going to be 11 or 12 win year, ERA in the mid-threes. Considering the way Boone uses considering the way Boone uses his pitching staff and lets pitchers go on an average of 5 innings, that's a reasonable expectation.
And I would put Cortez in the bullpen.
Yeah, Cortez is definitely in the bullpen. I'm not even going to debate that. Anybody who says otherwise is absolutely off their keister. His shoulder is not stretched out enough to withstand that kind of a load year over year. He had the one good year in 22. Great, congratulations. Move on.
Yeah.
Now, is there a story you would want to trade Torres for, or you would be able to get for Torres?
I want to trade him for
Torres. Miami's known to want Torres. So you flip him for the Braxton Garrett and the other pitcher.
I would do the Miami trade.
Yeah.
For Garrett.
And if you do that, would you flip one of those guys in a deal for Soto?
I don't think we're going to get more than one pitcher. We're going to have to add to Soto just to get Braxton Garrett by himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's got.
You mean add to Torres?
Yeah, Torres. Yeah, sorry. He's got 4 years left. Braxton Garrett. Torres has 1. Well,
unless you trade Torres for a bunch of minor leaguers that you can trade for Soto.
I mean, you could do that.
But Jason, remember in our chat somebody threw out the name of Eduardo Rodriguez for a fourth lefty in our rotation, because I think he's a free agent too, right?
He opted out today.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, I don't know what kind of magic, though, what Matt Blake could work with him, though, because his ERA has notoriously been in the 4s and 5s of late, year over year. And you already have Rodon, who already had a miserable year by any standards, his or the next person's. His year was off by a country mile. Do you really want to have both your lefties potentially in that conundrum?
Yeah, if I'm going to go for a lefty personally, I'm going to try to get Montgomery before Eduardo Rodriguez.
Exactly.
If I think Montgomery's going to be too expensive and I still want a cheaper lefty, I'm going to try and get Braxton Garrett.
Yeah, at the same time, while you go out and get Monty, you have to realize Monty didn't do badly in New York. It's just the offense never really supported him either. Yep. So you have both problems working side by side.
On that question, what do you think Monty will get on the open market? What is his contract?
I'm gonna say
I
5
think
years.
Texas will pay him.
5 years, what?
$125.
25 million? On
Right.
25 a year over 5, so 125.
I think that'll be his max. I personally think it'll be his max.
So he's
I
probably
think
going to get
Texas might
between
give him
20
that,
and 25
Jason.
million dollars a year. That's what you think.
I think Texas will give him that because they liked how he pitched with them. He pitched well for them in the postseason. I think he proved to them that he wants to be there and that he can pitch there. So I think Texas is going to retain him at this point because with him and DeGrom, if DeGrom stays healthy, that's very formidable for them.
DeGrom's probably out the majority of the 24 season too with the Tommy John.
Yeah.
He'll be out probably half of it, but you'll get a full year of Max Scherzer too.
Well, Max really hasn't proven a lot because I mean, even he's reliable in the regular season. The postseason, it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sometimes with him.
They'll get enough out of him though, where he won't have to be. He knows too. He's not the Max Scherzer of the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
He's not that.
Doesn't Texas only have 2 more days to sign Montgomery before he becomes a free agent?
Yes, until Monday starts the free for all. So after Monday, on Monday, teams can sign anybody. So like right now is the exclusive 5-day period for teams to sign their own free agents. And then after that, Montgomery can sign whatever he wants.
I think one thing about Scherzer is, if you remember, he was part of that Didi Gregorius deal that Didi came to the Yankees.
Yeah, he was.
Imagine if they traded for Didi and Max Scherzer at the same time instead of making a 3-way deal.
Cashman isn't that smart.
Well, this is my imagination going forward. I'm not saying Cashman is.
No.
What do you think the first big piece is to fall? To come off the board?
I think maybe Yamamoto.
Here's the big question, all right? Considering we face Houston on opening day, who do you think their manager is going to be now that Baker's retired?
I have no idea.
So I've been hearing Brad Ausmus has been looked at by Houston for that job.
Yeah,
go for him. We're going to shit on him so badly.
Do you think they could bring back Beltran in Houston?
If they bring back Beltran, they're probably going to bring back Oscar the Grouch and his garbage can clan.
No, I don't think they will.
Do you think Beltran will have another job in the major leagues?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Not as a manager, I don't think, but as a coach or something, probably.
Maybe as a spring training invite.
I don't know about manager though. I don't know.
So getting back to Montgomery, if Texas hasn't signed him yet, are they not showing any interest in him, or are they just waiting?
Looks like
waiting for the last minute.
Like today, they brought back Andrew Heaney and they brought back their closer Jose Leclerc. They had a club option on him. They exercised it, and Andrew Heaney actually opted back into the player option with the team, so he brought himself back. Heaney's going to make $13 million next year with Texas Rangers. So, and Leclerc is going to make $6.25 million.
Well, Leclerc was good for them this past season, including the postseason.
Yeah, he was.
All right, guys. Mile 3 calls on the treadmill.
Go get him, dude.
Yeah.
Get your work done, brother.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, man.
All right. Thanks. See ya.
Good up, man. All right, man. What do we think about Seth Lugo? I mean, decent pitcher, D's. Seth Lugo. I mean,
I wouldn't take a flyer on him. I think he's too streaky. I think he's too inconsistent, and we don't need more inconsistencies on this team. We already have enough of that as we speak.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think we might as well just forget about Josh Hader.
Yeah,
In regard to the Rule 5 draft, do you think they're going to keep Albert Abreu on the roster, or they're going to drop him?
I think he's going to get non-tendered.
Non-tendered?
Yeah, I think he'll get non-tendered in the week.
When is the non-tender deadline?
What's that?
When is the non-tender deadline?
The 17th.
They're going to have to non-tender a couple of other guys on the roster.
Yeah, like Lou Trevino. Probably get non-tendered. There's been chatter now. What's up, Texas Buckeyes in the house? There's been chatter about Jose Trevino possibly being a non-tender candidate.
And I think Cordero will be dropped.
Cordero was Jimmy Cordero?
Yeah.
He was dropped the other day. So was Franchi Cordero.
According to the Yankees roster right now, they still have him on the roster.
They placed him and Herman, Franchi, Billy McKinney, Ryan Weber, and I'm missing somebody. They placed someone outright waivers.
They haven't updated their 40-man roster on their website.
Not yet. Those guys will be off though, because then they're all arbitration guys, and they'll be granted free agency. So they'll get released. Once they clear waivers, we'll see who any of them gets picked up on waivers. Maybe Herman will get picked up, but
Herman would probably do it, but nobody else.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of those guys will just be released because arbitration goes by a year-to-year basis. So it's not like a 6-year or 8-year contract or whatever in the major leagues. As a free agent, the whole entire length of the contract is guaranteed. The team can actually opt out of somebody's deal if they're an arbitration player. So they can. Go ahead.
I thought you said when you covered it the other day that if they're not picked up on waivers, then they're back with the Yankees.
Well, that was what's his name?
You said it was for the 6 players that were put on the waivers.
The guys that were put out on waivers, so I compared them to Florial. The guys, these are all arbitration guys. So they can be, if they don't clear waivers, or if they do clear waivers, they can all be released and won't have to come back. If a player like Florial, who's already passed his 6-year time and 6-year tenure, which is pre-arb and arb, got put on waivers and he wasn't playing, they had to take him back. So Florial has already passed his pre-arb and arb. These other guys have not. And so it's very confusing, actually, Joe. It's very confusing. I was like talking to a whole bunch of people, brain trust, about this, trying to get clarity on it. But that's essentially the difference between Florial, because I thought it was if they get they clear waivers and nobody picks them up, do they have to take them back? They don't, because they're in arbitration.
Okay.
So, and so it's just like what's his name? Ryan Harrison had Bader and Aaron Hicks. They were both put on waivers, right? And waivers. Bader was picked up by the Reds, so they assumed his salary. Hicks was not picked up on waivers, so they released him and they ate his contract. And they're still responsible for Hicks's money for the next 2 years. So, because he was already a Major League Baseball player. So that's that cutoff between arbitration. Like arbitration this side, the team has options, the team has flexibility. On the other side, the team does not. Once they lock you into a contract, 100% of it's guaranteed, unless you get suspended without pay from baseball. But that rarely happens. So if that makes more sense, come together.
Yeah, because you were saying that they would have to non-tender them in order to release them, as opposed to they would be released when the waiver period ended.
Yeah, because that's one of the things I was trying to figure out. This is one of the things I was talking to Brain Trust about, is if you put these guys in outright waivers and they clear, if nobody picks them up, can you non-tender them then? So they could just release them. So and there's apparently a difference between putting some of these guys in outright waivers, because if you do put them on outright waivers, the team can assume their salary, which I think somebody will pick up Herman, I think. But those guys are just going to be released. They won't be coming back. those guys. And the Yankees are going
Herman, I see someone picking up, but nobody else.
Yeah, none of those other guys. I think they'll clear, and they're no longer going to be on the 40 man for the Yankees. So the Yankees are doing a lot of this stuff, I think, for a couple of reasons. I think one, to make moves in free agency and trades, right? And two, to clear up 40-man roster spots for guys like Peyton Beer to protect them from Rule 5. So, and to clear some more payroll. So, but I do think I'm with you, John, that they're going to non-tender a few guys in a couple days.
Hey guys, I got to run. I got to be a dad.
All right, Mikey.
Be dad, brother.
I will see you guys next time.
All right, brother.
All right,
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure.
But yep, thank you.
Take care, my friend.
You too.
Look forward to your videos.
Yeah, by the way, come January, you're going to have co-prime ministers of Texas.
You moving to Texas, man? Officially?
Yeah, I bought a house yesterday.
Congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
Where in Texas?
City called New Caney, which is northwest of Houston.
Nice.
I don't even know where you are now.
I'm in the Los Angeles area.
Los Angeles.
That's why I was king of Cali, but now, in 2 months, no more.
You're gonna have co-prime ministers of Texas. Dang. Thankfully, it's a huge state.
Yeah.
We need two prime ministers. We need two co-PMs.
Yeah, it should have.
All right, Texas is in agreement here too. Texas knows you're coming. Yeah.
All
So
right, buddy.
Two guys running the state of Texas here. Yeah. Two of them.
Except we're not two Utes.
Exactly.
No, not two youths.
Jesus says here he's going to ask us all the questions. Do you get them? Do they repeat? Depends on what Texas does this offseason. They're going to have to make additions this offseason to repeat. It's one of the toughest things to do. Houston Astros couldn't do it. Dodgers couldn't do it. Red Sox couldn't do it. Like
Yankees were the last team to repeat.
Exactly. The Yankees were the last teams to repeat, and they went 3 in a row.
And they went back 4.
Yeah, and they almost had 4 in a row. They lost in Game 7 to the Diamondbacks in 2001. So, and that was probably the greatest Yankee team ever, 98.
98.
So it's very, very hard. And I don't think the Rangers are going to get Shohei Ohtani. I don't think the Rangers. I could see them getting somebody like Blake Snell or Josh Hader, but I can't see them getting Ohtani.
I don't know. Leclerc did pretty good as a closer, so I'm not sure why they would need another one.
Yeah, and what makes you think Ohtani's going to go to the Rangers is the question. Why do you say that?
Who's saying that?
Jesus Pintos here keeps saying that he's going to
Rangers will get him. I don't know. I don't know if he wants to come. I don't know if he wants to leave the West Coast. Unless the Rangers give him an awful lot of money, I don't see him leaving the West Coast. And I'm sure the Dodgers can match whatever the Rangers give him if they want to.
So could the Mariners.
And the Mariners. So I honestly don't see Ohtani leaving the West Coast.
This is one of the fascinating things. Get Billy Branch and Sunil too. You got essentially four. You guys are the 4 horsemen of Texas, Buckeye. Okay, 4 horsemen of Texas. That's even a higher level than Prime Minister of Texas. So
yeah, and Paul O'Neill won't be the hitting coach. He likes the booth too much.
Yeah, I can't see O'Neill being.
No, he doesn't want to be that serious.
Yeah.
Although, if he's in the dugout, you'll have to watch out for the water jugs.
I don't know. Like we talked about this a little bit ago too.
I don't see Paul O'Neill as being a coach for the Yankees. He's very comfortable being a Phil Rizzuto type in the booth.
One of the reasons
he plays his golf during the day, and then he shows up and does his little thing.
Paul O'Neill likes his flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to be into something that's every day on the field.
No, and then I think the Yankees allow him to call the game from home.
Yeah, they do.
Didn't they do that a couple
Well,
times this year?
they did, and then he had a ceremony back, and then I think they've gotten to the point now where he's allowed back in the booth because he's not vaccinated. So that was the whole big issue.
That was the reason why he wasn't in there.
So, and I think they figured that out now. And but one reason I mentioned Carlos Beltran as a potential option for hitting coach is because he's bilingual. The Yankees have a lot of Latin players.
Yeah, and he's a switch hitter.
He's a switch hitter. They need somebody who can speak English and Spanish effectively and communicate to these guys.
But is he a good teacher or is he a good coach? I mean, do we know anything about that?
That's the question. I think these things need to be asked of him. So,
well, in order to know that, they need to invite him to spring training.
This is true too. Oh, we got one prime minister of Texas. Is Cordell Walker. He's a Texas right. Who is Cordell Walker? Oh boy, Beck's bringing it tonight, man. Who the hell is Cordell Walker? I don't know who that is. You guys know who Cordell Walker is?
I've never heard of him.
Neither have I.
What do we got
What
here?
do you think Kershaw will be doing next year?
He's having shoulder surgery. He had shoulder surgery yesterday. And he's hoping to be back by summertime. So I think he's going to sign a short-term deal with the Dodgers probably and come back in the second half of the year. But he had shoulder surgery yesterday.
I think if he comes back, it'll probably be his last year.
Probably. And it does sound, I don't know why he would have had, he had his surgery and he said he wants to be back in the summertime. So I don't know why he would have a surgery if he didn't want to come back and play. So
I'm guessing the Dodgers would be happy to have his presence.
Yeah, I mean he's a good veteran. It's like he had a great year this year too. So
the question is, are the Dodgers going to replace their manager?
Dave Roberts.
How many years can they go without making it out of the playoffs?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think there's the appetite to move on from Dave Roberts. He's a good fit there, and they like him. And who would they replace him with? Is the question. Oh, Cordell Walker. Okay, it's Chuck Walker from Texas, right? Excuse me. He's Walker, Texas Ranger. Ryan, my ignorance.
Oh, Chuck Norris he's talking about.
Yeah, that show sucked, but that's just my opinion. So, but Beck's ball busting here, man. Ball busting. It's all good. Yeah, that show was terrible. What about Bernie Williams wanted to be hitting coach?
I think Bernie likes his music. Just similar to Paul O'Neill. He just had other stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm like
he's changed his whole world. I can't see him donning a baseball uniform again.
The only time Bernie and Paul O'Neill will don a baseball uniform again is an Old Timers Day.
Yeah, this is why I think one of the reasons why it's so hard to find a new hitting coach.
But I still think Nick Swisher could be a good guy.
I think he'd be a good bench coach, personally, because I think he can keep the team focused and relaxed at the same time while they get.
I would give Nick Swisher a job, or at least invite him to spring training.
Well,
I would invite him.
He's already, isn't he some kind of advisor already for the Yankees?
Yeah, he's a special advisor to Cashman.
It's not like he's not affiliated.
Represented them in the draft, didn't he? I believe he was a Yankee representative in last year's draft.
Yeah.
Yep. He's like well respected and beloved in the franchise. So,
but I wouldn't mind seeing him on the bench.
And he's got the right attitude for that team.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. He's freaking fantastic. Who else we got here? Where did Jorge Posada want to be? I have no idea, John. I have no idea if he'd want to be a hitting coach.
I don't know.
Does he get involved? Does he get involved with spring training at all? Jorge?
Not that I know of. Well, he was employed with the Marlins for a while.
Yeah.
He was an advisor with the Marlins for Derek Jeter, but then Derek Jeter left, and I don't know what he's doing now.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see Posada in spring training as just a
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like an instructor or something.
instructor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, Posada, he's also married. He has kids, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's a guy named Jason. Texas must be talking about Jason Giambi, right?
Jason Giambi, I don't know if he's gonna. The only time you'll see him back in with the Yankees in Alzheimer's Day.
I had a buddy of mine. My cousin also played baseball with Andrew Bailey.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that once.
Yeah, former reliever, and but he has said that Jason Giambi was one of the most beloved players on the Yankees. He was also a big time party animal, but he took care of all the young guys.
Yeah,
every one of them.
The only thing I never liked about Giambi is he never took the ball to the opposite field. If Giambi took the ball to the opposite field, he could have hit 300 every year.
Mm-hmm. True.
And I don't know why the Yankees don't teach these players, even the veterans, just to push the ball into the opposite field, getting a base hit.
That's what Sean Casey was doing, like he did with Volpe, and he did it with DJ. He started hitting the opposite field again. And that was one of his things because he was really good at hitting the ball in the opposite field as a lefty.
I mean, if Casey can come back for spring training, I would invite him back for spring training. I know he doesn't want to coach.
So would I.
But I wouldn't mind having him for a month in spring training.
Thank you, Buckeye. One of the four horsemen of Texas. The official four horsemen of Texas right here. This is the new and Consigliere's already one of the four horsemen of Texas. Even though he hasn't officially moved there yet, he's one of the four horsemen.
Well, I can show you my contract that I signed.
Yeah, exactly. He's already in the books. He's signed. He's ready to go. So I should be the hitting. Yeah. I appreciate the kind words. I don't know if I could do the hitting coach for the Yankees. Shoot. But I think thank you. I appreciate the kind words, man. I think it's got to be a good communicator.
Yeah.
And somebody who can break this down for the different types of personalities.
Oh, that's why I think Nick Swisher could be a good guy.
Yeah, he comes to mind as well. So he could fit a couple of roles.
Yes, I mean, yeah. Swisher definitely can. I mean Swisher, that's why I think he would be able to keep the team loose without sacrificing focus and concentration, like in all this stuff. And I think he would bring a youthful swag to this team that they haven't had in a while.
Because I think if wouldn't Swisher probably be the youngest guy on the coaching staff? He's only 42 years old, 43.
Something like that. Carlos Mendoza is 43 right now if he stays. So he would probably.
I think Swisher is also 43. But I heard Mendoza was interviewing for a manager job.
Carlos Mendoza interviewed with the Mets. He interviewed with the what else? He's interviewing with the Padres. Oh, and the Cleveland Guardians. He's interviewed with two of them already.
I'm guessing he will get a job.
I think he'll be the manager for somewhere, which is why I think, the Yankees should be looking for a new bench coach as well. At the very least, entertain the idea of somebody like Nick Swisher. So Beck is crazy. So add Soto and Bellinger, and my Nana can be the hitting coach. Well, this is true. You could have if you add both those guys, you could put it.
I wonder what about the idea? What about the idea of having Aaron Judge as hitting coach as the Yankee hitting coach?
Well, I don't know. I think people might get pissed off. So
he's still learning.
He's got two hitting coaches too. Apparently so, and I think some people. I don't know if that's going to create resentment, like saying this guy's been getting preferential treatment for a long time, and it just goes to show that he's basically shutting out the hitting coaches and not being held accountable for that. And I don't think any other player on the team would be able to do that.
Well,
So I think it would spotlight, even though he's obviously doing well, it would still spotlight the preferential treatment.
well, the one thing I would take about that, if I was the owner, I would say, what am I doing wrong that my best player has to get his own hitting coach?
Yeah, exactly. Which is, again, it's why it's so hard to find the right coach. And like their roster is like, it's so disconnected. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to fit circles and square boxes and squares and triangle boxes and triangle and rectangle boxes. Like they don't flow.
That's why the Yankees need to make many moves. They can't make
Yeah.
one or two moves. They need to make
No.
moves so in case
Yes.
Judge is out for an extended period of time, the team doesn't go down the drain.
Yeah, exactly. And we
Just
all know
like last year.
there's no player. Soto doesn't change the needle entirely. Neither does Ohtani. And there's no player. Yordan Alvarez. None of these guys change the needle completely for the team. They need to address multiple holes.
Yes.
I
They need two bats and a pitcher, basically.
Yeah. At least. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if Jim Leyritz would be a hitting coach. I'm not sure, John.
I think my cousin knows who Jim Leyritz.
Jim Leyritz would be pretty an intriguing option, but I just don't know if it would happen. I just don't know. So, Neil, what are you doing, man? Are you doing a mile and then resting for like 20 minutes and then doing it again, or
Hydration.
hydration?
Yeah, just finished the mile.
Good.
Like building up the steam and the
For the mile.
come again?
Was that about a half an hour for you to get a mile?
No, 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
As an honest Yankee fan, I think the Mets are going to win the World Series next year. Is that right?
If the Mets are going to win the World Series, they're going to have to make a lot of different moves. They just can't make
As
one.
an honest Yankee fan, I don't think the Mets win the World Series until Bobby Bonilla Day is over in 2035.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have to. I applaud their aggressiveness, no doubt about it, but they're still a ways away, Mike.
They're a country mile away.
Yep. Sean Browning, is Wade Boggs available? I have no idea.
So they need a manager too. We talked about the Astros manager. They need one too.
Mazza was saying Brad Ausmus is being considered.
Yeah, but that's for Astros. But what about for the Mets?
Well, I know he's going to.
Can you read what Tyler B wrote?
The Mets.
You want Pedro Martinez as your manager on the Mets? You would want Pedro?
Pedro Martinez?
Nah. No way.
Can you read what Tyler B wrote in the chat?
How can Nick Swisher be a hitting coach if he's the GM of the Abu Dhabi?
As a joke, if Pedro Martinez actually gets the Mets managing job, you know who I see as his bench coach? And I'm being totally facetious here.
Who?
Either one of two from the 2007 team. One of three, actually. Mike Lowell.
Wow.
You might see Manny being Manny. That would be pretty funny.
Mike Lowell actually would be another name to be a hitting coach. And he also is a former Yankee.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Mike Lowell.
Mike Lowell.
Yeah.
He was on the Yankees for a couple of months in 98. Was it 98?
Yeah, and then he was traded to, I think, the Marlins for Ed Yarnell.
Yeah, it was the Cashman's worst trade before recent years.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
We could count Cashman's worst trades in an entire Wikipedia.
I think didn't Hector do a video about that a couple of months ago?
Yeah, I think so. I think Matsui's an advisor of some sort for the Yankees right now, Buckeye. I think.
If I were the Yankees, I would have Matsui help me bring in Yamamoto.
Yeah.
I would have him and Tanaka go scout and basically, maybe if they have to do the kidnapping tactic, hey, so be it.
I don't think that would work.
I know. Well, I mean, all three of them are Japanese, so it's not like one person has the martial arts advantage.
Yeah.
Japanese is a very kind culture.
Yeah.
You have to be friendly, not kidnapping.
Yeah. Yamamoto-san must become a Yankee.
So bring him here.
Yeah. You must listen to Miyagi. Danielson listen to Miyagi. You listen to Miyagi too.
John, John, no, I don't
Remember-
know. I don't know how long Judge has had his own coach. To be honest with you, like, he might have taken it upon himself with this carousel that's been going on with Yankees hitting coach. I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't a fan of Dylan Lawson's, and he felt that he. I have no idea. No idea, but yeah, I mean,
I'm suspecting it might have been during the days of the guy's name escapes me, but he was that former Yankee too. Marcus, what's his name?
Marcus Thames.
Marcus Thames.
Marcus Thames. Yes. Marcus Thames. Yeah.
Thames, baby.
Yeah.
He was actually a decent hitting coach for the Yankees.
Yamamoto-san must remember between pitches, breathe in, breathe out.
Now, they got rid of him when the Yankees started slumping, with their batting averages in like his last year. And the thing is, nothing's improved since he left.
Yeah, that was like towards the end of 21.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think he was a pretty good coach. I don't think, in hindsight, I don't think you can blame him for the skid the Yankees went on, because they've been doing it every year since.
And you know which other Yankee former coach is now available again? Phil, what's his name again?
Nevin?
Huh?
Nevin.
Nevin, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Yankee Angel manager.
Yeah.
Well, he was the Angels manager. He got relieved of his duties late last year.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Former Angel manager.
Yeah.
He got fired. So, freaking Beck. Oh, Beck. Beck is just throwing darts he's just tossing darts at people here. But the Mets will try again with big money free agents. I think they'll do it a little bit differently, John. I can't see the Soto and the Ohtani. Like, I don't see that happening. Like, I think they're going to be smarter with some of their deals, because they still have to eat Verlander money. They still have to eat Scherzer money.
Well, I think Cohen also made the same mistake Steinbrenner did when he bought the Yankees.
Is Didi still?
What's that? He was signing all the top guy free agents instead of building up the farm system.
Yep, that's one of the things that Steinbrenner did. That's right.
Steinbrenner didn't have a farm system when he bought the team. He bought in. I think his first guy he signed was the first big guy was Catfish and Reggie.
Catfish, Reggie, and he signed Dave Winfield to a.
Steinbrenner's idea of a farm system was.
Dave Winfield was after 1980, but
he gave Dave Winfield a 10-year deal.
Yeah.
Before the emergence,
I think Catfish was his first big signing.
Before the emergence of Gene the Stick Michael as scouting, Steinbrenner's idea of a farm was basically a rooster, a cockatoo, a donkey, this, that, and other. He basically made an animal farm. He was an expert at that, if anything. Until, he got onto a situation where, there became some kind of substance and structure, which is what emerged in the Gene the Stick Michael days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will the Mets go all in to get the Japanese pitcher? They could, but I see the Yankees are. I can't see honestly, I can't see the Yankees being outbid for him now. I think this is going to be the one guy that they definitely get. Yamamoto.
Yeah, Yankees have
after
to
him,
do.
after him, I think everything is a crapshoot. I don't know after him. I just
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I think
They
Yankees
get him.
have to do whatever it takes to get Yamamoto.
They
Yamamoto.
get him.
is,
They get Matsui and they get Lee. They got 2 Japanese and a Korean. How do you not start World War III on the Yankees roster right there?
Exactly.
between 2 Japanese and a
that's
Korean.
those are countries from World War II, not World War III.
Yeah, exactly. You might have to, you might have Takai Sakai break out of the Yankee clubhouse before Cobra Kai season 6 comes out.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
I heard Hillary Swank is gonna have a little cameo appearance in this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's gonna be the last season, though.
That's what I heard
Oh
too.
man, come on, Hayden Schlossberg. You got to extend that to 7, man. You can't stop at 6.
George signed Reggie, and then they won back-to-back championships. What a failure! Yeah, what a bum, dude.
Mm-hmm.
What a bum. No,
Oh,
Steinbrenner made a lot of good signings. He made a lot of bad ones too. So let's just.
Yeah, well, but it seems like ever since when Thurman Munson died, unfortunately, the Yankees went downhill from that time.
That's a
So
big loss for the Yankees.
The Yankees weren't the same team. Weren't a winning team until '94 after Thurman Munson.
I mean, their turnarounds really started in like 92 and 93. They became a winning team in 94.
'92 is when they drafted Jeter.
Yeah, exactly.
And he brought in
Now,
Paul O'Neill and like
Paul O'Neill
Yeah.
was '93. Yes.
93.
yeah, and then in the 92, 93 off season, I read something on Facebook today. There was like a this day in Yankee history kind of thing, and it was talking
They
about
traded
O'Neill.
Roberto Kelly for him.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
The Reds, yep.
Now remind me, was Danny Tartable a sign or a trade?
I think
Signed.
he was signed. He was signed from the Royals.
Yeah,
Royals.
and that was a George signing.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Many managers were catchers in playing days, the way they see the whole field from their position.
So
Yeah,
we're
I mean,
talking about. We
Go
were
ahead.
talking about hitting coaches earlier. What about former Met Mike Piazza?
I think I'll say this. I think you might have been on the treadmill. I think the hitting coach needs to be bilingual here for the Yankees because he needs to communicate to the players too.
Yeah.
The Yankees have a lot of them.
Yeah, they have a lot of Latino and soon to be Japanese and Oriental players too.
Yeah. So they got a trial in there.
Yeah, well, the guy who was translating for Chapman was basically one of their prevalent Latino translators, Hispanic translators. So that's one. And if they get a Yamamoto and a Matsui, they're going to need 1 or 2 between those 2. And God forbid Jung Ho Lee comes along, that's going to be 3. That's going to be having a need for Korean as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they invest in I don't know I don't know what did they invest? They invested in a pickleball and they invested in
paddle, A1 paddle.
Paddleball.
Paddleball, they invested in soccer.
Yeah, MLS, that was like back in right after the 2009 World Series, they invested in New York City FC.
I mean, what are the Yankees? The Yankees seem like they're focused on other things except baseball.
Yeah, and by the way, that A1 paddle is not pickleball. It's a different sport entirely. It's
I've never played pickleball or paddleball or any of those.
John moved to
I've
Texas,
only played
all right?
baseball.
Texas Buckeye, and I will formally welcome you. Move down here, and we'll do it every day. Watch your heart rate spike up to like 160, 170 during that exercise. I promise you. I've monitored my metrics, and every time, I go game to game and take hydration breaks, and then at the end of the entire session, I look at the heart rate metrics, and I see spikes go all the way up to like 160, 170. I'm not kidding.
I think there's a pickleball court right near where I work.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. The popularity on this was picked up like wildfire.
It's crazy. I've seen videos recently on YouTube of cameras being placed in F-16s and taking people as guests or whatever, and how they'll go from like their normal speed to like 9 Gs in like, I don't know, in like 20 seconds, like, and their heart rate goes from 125 to like 180 in like 10 seconds.
You had to take you probably had to take Tom Cruise's heart rate when he was filming for Top Gun Maverick, and he was doing that scene in that, fighter jet when he was trying to test to get up to 10 G.
10 G.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine.
Yeah, and then you see, and then you see all those fight scenes where they were trying to go through the canyon. There's all this controversy about how that canyon was basically a mimic from a Star Wars film, and then all of a sudden they have to like go over the mountain and then just come down into a canyon, drop rockets onto a target, and then go up. They made it seem like it was a copy of like one of the Star Wars movies.
No, it was.
Coffin Corner.
When they did the Death Star, they had to go through that narrow area and then come up and then drop the bomb and just right into the vent.
Wasn't that filmed in the Death Valley area?
I don't know. Actually, good question. I don't know.
I think parts of Star Wars that made the first movie was filmed in Death Valley because they needed the desert.
Mike Piazza was the manager for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic. Okay, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
I wonder what candidates are actually going to be brought in for interviews for hitting coach. I really wonder.
For the Mets?
I think for the Yankees?
For the Yankees.
I really have no idea. I mean, I just thought the one that's very out there and nobody had thought about it is Nick Johnson. But nobody heard of Nick Johnson. No, Nick Johnson hasn't been in baseball for a long time.
Former backup first baseman for the Yankees.
Don't bring Nick Johnson in here. Are you kidding me?
I don't know if he knows baseball or not. I just thought of that name off the top of my head.
I was going to say, if you want to talk about people that have been recently in the game, wasn't Didi was he signed to a AAA contract like late last year for Seattle or something? Or did he go play internationally? I remember you might have put a video out on this.
I thought he played somewhere in Europe. I don't know.
So if he calls it a career, that guy was a good contact with some power type of a hitter.
So you would bring Didi Gregorius as hitting coach?
Yeah, why not?
Not a bad idea. I mean, he did pretty good with taking over for Jeter.
Yeah, but I mean, and his batting basically once he got here, 2015 onwards, you saw a slight uptick, and 2017 was his best year with those 27 bombs.
I'm looking for him. He's a free agent now. He doesn't play. He's not signed by anybody, Didi Gregorius.
But he's still what? I think he's still 34 years old? So he's not an old.
He's 33.
33. So I'm sure Didi Gregorius wants to play baseball rather than being a coach at 33.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you could bring Brett Gardner in right now. He's in the upper 30s, almost 40.
Yeah, Brett Gardner is 40 years old.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind bringing Brett Gardner.
Yeah. Brett Gardner is bench coach.
He can also teach them how to bunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he can also, you know what else he can also teach him? If this was the roof of the dugout right over me,
how to bang a baseball bat on the roof.
Yeah. No, but this team can't bunt if their life depended upon it.
He's joining a Dubai-based league. Didi Gregorius.
Who is?
He's joining a baseball league in Dubai. You can see the article here.
So he's going
to is there. Robinson Cano's there. Pablo Sandoval were all drafted by this league recently. So
Okay, so here's an idea I bet you guys didn't think of. Dig all the way back to our 2003 team. Alfonso Soriano.
Last I heard, he was in Japan.
Yeah, but he was seen at Yankee Stadium, and did you see how jacked this guy is? I mean, his upper body was like.
Soriano would probably be a good coach.
Yeah. And ask CC if he wants to be bench coach. I mean, he would teach that team a thing or two about leadership in a New York minute.
CC, I think CC has will be just fine going to Old Timers Day.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, but can you imagine somebody? I mean, if a Yankee gets hit by a pitch and then our pitcher basically plunks it back, CC would go to the other dugout and say, "Bitch, that's for you."
CC could probably be a defensive end for the Giants right now.
CC is basically compared to his playing weight. Somebody actually cracked this joke, and it was pretty funny. It was not tasteless. I'm going to tell you that up front. They basically said he's the only other New Yorker to go Al Roker other than Al Roker as far as losing weight goes.
He's dropped some serious.
Yeah, last time I saw him, he probably was, but he was in. He looked very good. He had less weight on him than he ever did as a player.
Yeah, he's basically 6'4" Al Roker.
He's 6'7".
Whatever, 6'7". Yeah, he's 6'7".
He also completely revamped his nutrition. He hired a trainer. He looks jacked now. CC looks jacked.
Yeah. So he's basically 6'7" Al Roker.
Yeah,
if you put him and Al Roker side by side, they both lost a shitload of weight.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we got here. Yeah.
They each. If you put the weight loss that these two guys put together lost, that's a person right there.
People keep saying Nick Swisher, this dude. I haven't seen
Nick Swisher for hitting coach wouldn't be a bad idea.
No, I think he's probably one of the better choices.
I don't see anything saying that he's been drafted by this Dubai League. Nick Swisher. This Dubai Baseball League. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. And just like 2009, you would have the crowds chanting, "We want Swisher."
Yeah, man. Damn right, man.
Yeah. Now, can you imagine getting Swisher back in the coaching lines and keeping him around for 8 years until, let's say, Judge retires and then Judge becomes a coach? It's a rinse and repeat cycle. Basically, you let Swisher walk. You got a comp draft pick that turned into Aaron Judge. You have Swisher at coach. You let him stay for those 7 or 8 years. You let him walk and let Aaron Judge resume his spot.
According to what Swisher put on his Twitter, he's a special advisor to Brian Cashman.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that.
How many special advisors does this guy need?
I'm announcing here, Wisconsin, the former MLB All-Star and World Series champion Nick Swisher joins Baseball United ownership group.
Baseball
United.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what the hell that is. But this is it's the baseball league in Dubai. It's called Baseball United.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know. I just knew about the league because I had read about the same thing that you're talking about. I just never really read the name with close attention.
It says Clubhouse Media Group Inc. closes promo deal with Nick Swisher.
Mm-hmm.
Promo deal, confirmed promotional deal with Nick Swisher. Former career span that. Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, Felix Hernandez is part of that as well.
Felix Hernandez, King Felix.
Yeah.
Baseball stars line up to invest in Dubai League. I guess there's nothing prohibiting them from investing in this tournament.
They're retired. What would prohibit them?
Yeah, exactly.
They might get the next Arjun Nimal out of there.
Yeah, true. Hanley Ramirez, Matt Barnes, Bartolo Colon have all invested. Barry Larkin, Mariano Rivera,
Mhm.
Felix Hernandez, the Nick Swisher. They're launching an event on November 10th to the 12th, hosted at Dubai International Stadium.
That's next weekend.
Yeah. There's
So
four franchises. The Mumbai Cobras, the Karachi Monarchs, the Abu Dhabi Falcons, and Dubai Wolves.
So Mumbai, that's a team from India. Karachi, that's a team from Pakistan. Abu Dhabi, of course, is right locally there in the Emirates. And who are the other teams?
And Dubai Wolves.
Okay, so 4 teams. That's it.
4 right now. Yes, it's first 4. These are the initial 4 franchises.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There are 53 million avid baseball fans in India. 12.5 million in Pakistan. It says there are 53 million avid baseball fans in India. 12.5 million in Pakistan. 1.5 million in Saudi Arabia. And 800,000 in the United Arab Emirates, according to Baseball United chairman, CEO, and majority owner Cash Sheikh. So it's a big fan base. So creating something.
Like I said the other day on the stream when you were there, if you go on the MLB at Bat app, on your TV or on your phone, they have a section that's explicitly called out as MLB India. You'll probably find some intel and some videos about this on there about how Indian players have undergone development and coaching and whatnot, and those 2 arms that they scouted in the $1 million arm and that actually came to the U.S. are involved in this effort.
Good, man. Giving them more global growth, and nothing wrong with that. You never know. You can find stars. You can find them anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, even we had some movie actors in India are not known to be very tall. Their average height is going to be anything between 5'8", 5'9", up to maybe 5'11", 6'1". This one famous Bollywood actor, him and his son are both like 6'3", 6'4". So that should tell you about the height, the recent height spike and,
interesting
potential they have over there.
So is this league like comparable to the golf league that was created there?
Potentially, yeah.
I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna do some more homework on this, and I think I should put out a video on this to let people know that there's a league that's forming in Dubai and Abu Dhabi that's freaking financed by a lot of former major league players, in part.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and you saw sports like the NBA include efforts in India and willingness to grow the game over there. MLB is poking in that same direction, basically.
Yeah. And here we go. Felix Hernandez just spent the week preceding his Mariners Hall of Fame induction working overseas on his first global business venture, helping bring professional baseball in the Middle East and South Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Plan to fly to Seattle late Thursday for Saturday's introduction, and blah, blah, blah. And is teaming up with one-time Mariners third baseman Adrian Beltre on the ownership group of Baseball United, a Dubai-based venture featuring 4 teams representing cities in the United Arab Emirates, India, and Pakistan. The group.
Okay, first thing, Ryan, Al Roker also went through the same, regimen that CC did. Not necessarily with the workouts, but at least he controlled his diet and everything. So quit making the stereotype jokes, okay? There's no difference between the two. The both of them, they follow the same regimen. They did right by themselves. They deserve the accolades that they're living, basically.
And CC has been a world-class athlete for a long time too. So,
Yeah, but CC was always on the wrong side, of the weight diaspora until he retired. That's why he
Yeah.
always had the knee issues and everything.
He also had a huge drinking problem and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
the group, let's see, this ownership group secured a 15-year deal in June to play out of various UAE venues, a first for any foreign sports venue within the tightly controlled Emirates.
Yeah.
There are plans for an 8-game showcase tournament in November at Dubai's International Cricket Stadium, featuring, among others, a Dubai Wolves team with Hernandez as honorary GM.
But as we saw in the London series, having a soccer pitch or a cricket pitch for a baseball stadium is not necessarily going to work. But then again, we also know that those countries aren't heavy involved in the game of baseball too. So we know there's going to be a limitation. So this is going to tell you something about the quality of what to expect in the game. You're not going to see center field anywhere in the 400 to 410 foot mark like you do in the U.S.
I'm just glad to see some former major leaguers investing in this and doing their part to grow the game. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I think this is pretty neat.
All right, man. Mile 4.
All right, go get to mile 4. We've been on here for 2 hours, actually. I'm going to wrap this up, too.
Yeah.
I realize time flies when you're having a good time, man.
Yeah, we've been here 2 hours. So.
All right, man.
JJ, all right, man. Go finish it up, man. Good work. JJ, bad contracts bankrupted the Padres. Is it prudent to take on the Juan Soto contract without shedding significant payroll? I don't think it's possible for the Padres, but
only a big team like the Yankees can do that.
I would agree.
A big market team. Only a big market team can do that.
With finances, yeah. And again, and the ability to absorb a long-term deal for a player like Juan Soto.
But if the Yankees do get Soto, I would expect Torres to be traded.
I would expect so too. And the equalizer's here. There he is, catching us on the tail end. We were just talking about Dubai. The United Emirates have started a baseball organization.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
I didn't know it either. Financed by former Major League players. Mariano Rivera, Barry Larkin, Felix Hernandez, a lot of these big-name players. We just went over them. They're trying to grow the game globally, and there's millions of fans there, and they have 4 teams right now. And they're looking to really take off here. So they're going to have an 8-game tournament. And Texas Buckeye, always a pleasure, my sir. Always a pleasure, my friend. And looking to really grow the game to the next level. So pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. That doesn't surprise me, honestly, because UAE is trying to, they're trying to expand in the sports world, right? So, in the last couple of years, the UFC's been out there, right?
Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
Abu Dhabi and Dubai. So, they've had some jiu-jitsu tournaments out there. I know there's a pretty well-known Thai fighter that trains people out there as well. So, right now, I know we're talking Yankees and baseball, but MMA is getting pretty big out there. So they're, it sounds like they're trying to expand into other sports. So I would have never thought baseball, but here we are.
And what Sunil was just saying too, it sounds like they have a lot of athletes who have shown the ability to progress in the sport as well. So we may have a lot of athletes out there, good baseball players that we don't know about.
Okay. What countries are they going from to UAE? Do we know?
They're doing Dubai,
Abu
Dhabi, Pakistan, and Mumbai, India. Those are the four right now.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm gonna do a thorough breakdown of this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, because
this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say because baseball is, clearly it's big in the U.S., big in South America, the islands, and then
Central America.
Central America, right? Japan, Korea. It's cool that it's getting into the Middle East. So
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting a lot of oil financing from the Middle East either, too. So, like baseball players investing in this thing that's essentially really given life by oil money. I mean, there's so many wealthy people in the Middle East. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. It could be a combination. I don't really care, but I'm just excited that they're doing this. It's pretty cool.
Well, watching the future, Jason, I think, with, the game expanding into, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, right? I can see maybe in the next few years where, they'll have a series. They're going to have a series in that country. So just something they did in London, a couple of years back.
Yeah.
So they'll definitely do one in Abu Dhabi or Dubai.
I would be interesting if they expand to South Africa.
Be kind of cool.
Eventually.
Be kind of cool.
That would be interesting if they go to South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the fact. I like the fact that it's actually taking form, that it's growing globally, and it's actually becoming official. It's kind of cool. Outside of Asia, outside of Latin America, like we're getting in the Middle East. It's pretty cool, man.
Gentlemen, I'm going to bow out. So you guys take care.
Also, Yeti.
Thank you.
Right. We'll wrap it up too. We've been on here for 2 hours now, so
yeah, we're over 2 hours.
I wanted to jump on real quick. I mean, I figured you were on for 2 hours, so I get it, bro. If you gotta go, you gotta go. If you gotta go, man. Well, we always chat it up in the group chat, so.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. We're going to continue to do that.
I'm always happy to join a video chat.
We like savings time too, so we got to set our clocks back an hour. So I know my daughters are going to wake us up early tomorrow. So
yeah, John, if you're trying to get in on the group chat, I can talk to Sunil, and Sunil could get you in if you have WhatsApp.
I do have WhatsApp.
Okay, cool.
Sunil's the supervisor of the thing.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy who created the chat in WhatsApp. So you'll have to get in.
The only person that had my cell phone number is Tats.
Okay, so what? Tats is in there. So
But last time I sent him a text, he didn't answer me.
He doesn't always answer them right away. It takes him a while to answer them. So
well, that was probably almost a month ago.
Huh? That's a little bit longer than okay.
Yeah, try to give him a call then, and I'll poke him if I need to.
Yeah, well, we'll get you in there. We'll get you in there.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you everybody for coming on. Appreciate it always. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't done that yet. And again, like we were talking about, I mean, and if he was on early too, like the people that are free agents now that weren't free agents yesterday. Do any of them represent fits for the Yankees? So.
There's a lot of big names. Stroman, Eduardo Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are pretty intriguing. And then there's that one pitcher. I believe he's from Cuba.
Yes, Yariel Rodriguez.
Yankees should look into him.
Yeah.
I know they're dead set on like Yamamoto, or not dead set on him, but he's a priority. But they should look into the Cuban pitcher. If worst case scenario, they could look into Stroman. If Stroman is looking, if he's looking to, sign with the Yankees. If the Yankees are interested in him.
If somehow Yamamoto doesn't work out, then I could see them pivoting quickly to like a Stroman or a Montgomery or something like that.
Either way, I just hope the Yankees are very aggressive and assertive this offseason. It can't be passive.
Well, they did outright those players, the 6 players from the Yankees. So it sounds like they're trying to free up some space so they could spend some money this off season, right?
Which is
good, yeah, which is great. And hopefully they're working behind the scenes. And I know free agency starts on Monday.
Starts Monday, sir.
Tomorrow.
So there's going to be a lot more of these option, these options player and team not being exercised and whatnot. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll see more names to the free agent list.
For sure.
Like Monday is when the free for all happens. Like teams can sign any players from anywhere. So.
Okay. Well, hopefully on Monday we hear some news from the Yankees then.
It'd be kind of cool if we did.
Yeah, I expect next week to have some more news.
I think so too. I think we'll get a little bit each day. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Well, last few days have been a lot going on. With players tendered or non-tendered, or players' options being declined, or they declined their option and decided to test the free agency market. So, it's all
I also wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees make a big move during the winter meetings.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's stuff like this that can change the calculus of a team. Like, the Marcus Stroman, we didn't know he was available now. Now should we pursue him? It might change teams' approaches. Like I'm interested to see, is some team going to come out of the woodwork, like an Arizona Diamondbacks inside Marcus Stroman? Like
they could definitely use a guy like Stroman.
Yeah.
He could. Yeah. So, he could also go to a rival. He could go to St. Louis. St. Louis is in need of pitching too.
Yes, sir. They are, and they have the money. They have the money to get him.
Definitely, and the only other team I would say is the Padres, but I doubt they're trying to shed payroll right now. So
the Padres won't add any payroll this offseason.
No, this is where the Yankees could step in and offer pitching.
Well, the Yankees need to be
Yamamoto to get Soto.
The Yankees need to remember to be the George Steinbrenner Yankees again, and not the Hal Steinbrenner Yankees.
Yep. And the Padres did decline Michael Wacha's 2-year option, so they got rid of another guy over the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, he had a $6.5 million option for 2024, and I get a $7.5 million option for 2025. So they did little by little. They're just
didn't they do Wacha and someone else? The Padres did 2 players.
Wacha and Nick Martinez. A relief pitcher?
Yes, Nick Martinez.
Yes, Nick Martinez.
But Matt Carpenter opted back in. He's coming back to the Padres next year. He exercised his option. Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, he had a player option.
So he decided to come back.
So he might get traded.
He might.
I know I said it the other day, but I'm thinking this gives more incentive for the Padres to trade Juan Soto, where the Yankees don't have to necessarily give up as much. And they're going to have to still give a group of players up. I'm not saying that it's just going to be like 2 or 3 players. They still have to give up a group of players, but it may not have to be like the big names that we were originally talking about, because
it won't be as big as last year's trade.
Yeah, it won't be as big as last year's trade, but if Padres are in a financial situation right now, so if an organization is in a financial situation, they
money.
No, well, yeah, and because they signed fat contracts.
Desperation can lead to some opportunities.
And Cashman is generally known for taking advantage of these situations and being good at it. So last couple of years, not so much, but like when he wanted to get rid of Chase Headley, he offered Brian Mitchell. They got a team to take Brian Mitchell, pitching prospect, and eat in Chase Headley's Padres. So like he's done this before.
He just needs to do it again.
Cashman to move.
But
what do you guys think?
Cashman hasn't made those type of moves in years.
I know we need that. We need one of those.
Let's just hope that this year is a little different, because I know fans have blown up, and they're ready. They're obviously ready for a change, and Hopefully it's going to be a hopefully it's more Hal than Cashman. Because Hal, and I've said this before, and we all know it, right? Hal was the one who signed Judge. Hal was the one who made the call to call up the youth. So I think he's going to have a lot of involvement this offseason. And
I agree.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, or at least that was on your show.
Yep, and Judge and Cole are they were in Hal's ear, right? So those two guys didn't sign contracts with a team to go and just not make the playoffs or not win a World Series. There was a reason why they signed with the Yankees. There was a reason why they wanted to play for the Yankees, and this very reason, you guys.
I have to remember that nothing more profitable. There's no sponsor he can get for his jersey that will give him as much money as winning the World Series.
You got that right.
Winning the World Series is the ultimate prize should be the ultimate prize for Hal Steinbrenner.
You got that right.
And that was something, Jason, we talked about, right, earlier today. Like, why would a team not want to make money? Especially, championships bring money to the team. Why would an organization not want that? It makes your team that much more profitable,
Yeah. If your business model is to make money, if the language you're speaking is money, investing in your product, and if the ultimate goal here is to win a World Series, every time you go deeper into the playoffs, you get bigger playoff shares, right? They increase. So it's more profitable that way. And there's more tickets you're selling. There's more merch you're selling. There's more concessions you're selling.
And the Yankees haven't been to the ALCS since 2019.
The ALCS?
That was the last time they were in the wasn't that the last time?
Wait, they weren't in the ALCS last year?
Maybe they were there last year, yes. Last year.
They were there. They lost. They
lost 4 in a row, but I want to forget last year.
Yeah, you and me. Well, I want to forget this year. Last year.
This year was even worse. So
yeah,
let's redeem ourselves with a good ass off season. So my goodness.
Yeah, I'm trying to remain optimistic, man. I know. I have my criticism.
I think Spencer Jones will make his debut next year.
Who?
Spencer Jones.
He'll get an invitation to spring training. So will Drew Thorpe. So will Will Warren. Assuming neither one of those guys are moved.
I wouldn't be surprised if Thorpe has a great offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the number 5 starter.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remain optimistic with the offseason. I know, myself included, I know a lot of people have criticisms about Cashman. I haven't always agreed with a lot of the moves that he's done, but, I won't be on here like bashing him constantly, because it's just like, all right, well, he's here, guys. He's not going nowhere. So, he's unless there's another disastrous offseason and another disastrous season, maybe he's gone next year. Who knows? But he's here. He's not going anywhere. So might as well hope that he does something good for the organization, for the team. So you don't really you don't want to root for your GM to like do bad or lose. I'm not, and this isn't me trying to defend him. It's just I'm trying to root for him. The thing is, even with all the crap that's gone.
We also have to remember, no matter what Cashman does, the Orioles will be a tough team to beat.
The Orioles are going to be a threat for a while. So,
they have the number 1 farm system, and they have good players on the team right now, so they can trade whatever they need to get better. And nobody will not trade with the Orioles because the farm system is so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting, gentlemen. It's going to be real interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming out tomorrow. Like I can't wait to see what happens Sunday, and then tomorrow I can't wait to see what's going to happen Monday. Like it's just going to be more stuff. And like,
oh man, it was dude. I kept refreshing the MLB trade rumors page because I'm just like, okay, give me some more moves. Like, show me what else is going on.
yeah.
Like, and
I took my girls to a birthday party today in like 2
Yeah.
hours. 5 more moves that happened in like 2 hours. I'm like,
I think. Did you hear that the Tigers acquired Mark Canha?
yeah,
yes,
from the Brewers. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was that's the latest move.
Yeah, and there's apparently somebody saying that there's a rumor that Javi Baez is going to opt out of his deal with the Tigers. So
yeah,
I don't know.
it's possible.
I would see that. The Tigers haven't done anything.
I just don't know if he hasn't played up to the value of his contract.
I don't think anybody will give him that money, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think he's going to do better elsewhere.
So
that's a risk. That's a risk.
You guys might have discussed this earlier, but as far as if the Yankees were to get Yamamoto, what would be the most money you would offer to get Yamamoto? I mean, I'm thinking they're still going to offer him 200, but if they go over 200, what do you think? How much would you pay for him?
Like a 7-year, 210 million, maybe.
7-year, 210. Okay.
Maybe 8-year, 210. But
okay,
I don't know.
I'd probably try to stick it at 7 years, like a 210.
Yeah, you know, this is a a hot pitcher, so I could see the Yankees going no more than 220.
After what he did last night, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And he's pitched like a $30 million pitcher.
Yesterday he was just lights out.
But it might take a $30 million a year. So 7 to 10 would probably be my guess.
And then you got to add a $20 million posting fee to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, my prediction still stands at 200 at 8 years, which puts him at 25 million.
I think after that year, after last night, that's probably a little low.
I mean, maybe that's why I was shooting for 220 because after last night's game, his stock just went up. Mm-hmm. So I could see 220 for 8 years, so that puts him a little over 30 million, right?
No, that would be 240 for 8 years. Would be
240 for 8, yeah. There for 30.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough one, man. I would give him an opt-out after 5 years, regardless.
Yeah. If he's signing a 7-year deal, he should get an opt-out.
Mm-hmm.
He's at the age for 225.
What's that?
He's at I'm saying Yamamoto's at the perfect age. He's 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 5 years, you give him an opt-out, that puts him at age 30, which is, perfect for a player at that age to opt out and maybe test the market. Maybe you do the same thing with Juan Soto.
That's what I would do. I would do 5 years after Soto too.
Oh, absolutely. And I know a lot of people are saying, if the Yankees trade for him, they should sign him to an extension. But an extension is not going to happen. He will test free agency, and he will try and get the most money. After all, Scott Boras is his agent, so and he does like to get the most money he can for his clients.
Yeah, Boras will get him a $500 million contract.
Yeah, it'll probably exceed $500 million. You just watch. Because
I remember the 2000 offseason when he got A-Rod 252 and nobody had more than 181 that Jeter signed.
Yeah, I remember that.
So at that time I was wondering, why didn't Texas just offer him $220 million? What's the difference between 250 and 220?
Scott Boras is the difference.
I know, but I didn't know as much as I know back then. But I was comparing Jeter's contract, which was 181 to 252. If you take $30 million away, he's still the highest paid player in baseball.
True.
Yeah, but after all, agents, I mean, they're going to do what they can. I mean, whether it's Scott Boras or somebody else, they're going to try and get the most money they can for their players. I mean, that's their job. So
that's why he is who he is. He puts together this binder for his players that is unlike anything I've ever seen.
I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 years you're going to see a $40 million player.
$40 million what?
Per year player in 10 years.
40 million?
Someone will in 10 years. I wouldn't be surprised if someone will pay someone $40 million per year.
We have it already. Aaron Judge makes $40 million a year.
Yeah, and you're probably going to see that with Ohtani. He'll probably make more than 40.
Ohtani and Soto are going to make more than 40.
Oh yeah, those two guaranteed are going to make more than
Then someone in the near future will be basically the Patrick Mahomes of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, there's some football players, even basketball players, who make $50 million per year.
Yeah,
they're like 5-year deals. So the only one that has a monster long deal is Mahomes, I think. Right? It's 10 years, $400 million, or some craziness like that.
He I think it was 10 years over $400 million.
Yeah, I mean, like Jalen Hurts is making $50 million per. I think Justin Herbert's making $50 million per. Like, these guys are making crazy money.
Yeah,
well, football is a very profitable sport for 17 games.
Yeah, no kidding.
In another 10 years, you'll see players making anywhere from like freaking $80 to $100 million a year. You just watch. I'm telling you, these contracts are getting more and more ridiculous every year.
10-year, $1 billion contract. Like what?
It's going to happen. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Soccer players like Ronaldo, isn't he making $200 million a year in like the Middle East and Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, he's getting paid like a stupid amount of money to go play out there, and he's just like, yeah, sure, I'll go do it. And besides, I mean, he's at the tail end of his career, so those guys in Saudi Arabia are going to definitely give him some fat money.
Yeah, why the heck not? $200 million a year for it. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go in Saudi Arabia for a year, dude. You just give me $200 million. I'll be good.
I would go, and $200 million a year you can do a lot of stuff with that if you're smart.
Yes, heck yeah. That oil money comes in handy. These people are ridiculously wealthy. So I guess.
Yeah, I've definitely have met a lot of students that came here to study from the Gulf countries, from like Saudi, Kuwait, Qatar. They drive around in their fancy cars, and they're living the life, but they're also trying to get an education at the same time. They can't be they're there on a scholarship basically. So
I mean,
much, but
I take the 7 train to school. They drive a Bentley. It's the only difference. So
hey, I remember that train growing up there, man. So I could relate to you on that one. Yeah. Train was my best friend. So
yeah, mine too.
Yeah, I bet. But I mean, I met a lot of those guys from the Gulf countries. They're pretty cool, man. Our hospitality is nice. They're very friendly, and just they're giving. They could be giving.
Like my uncle was a doorman in this building in Park Avenue, Manhattan, and one of the tenants there was like the Sultan of something, and Brunei of one of these, and like he had like the penthouse on Park Avenue. It was just the biggest, most ridiculous place, and he had like Van Gogh, like $10 million paintings everywhere. Van Gogh and Da Vinci, like all this. This is that's just a different reality. Like it's a different world. Yeah.
Dude, and funny story. One time it was a group of those guys from I'm assuming they were either Saudi or just one of those Gulf countries. I was way back in the day. I was hanging out at a hookah bar. So.
I've been to one of those ones.
Yeah. They're it's a thing. It's still a thing.
I went to it last time I was at a hookah bar was at a party in London.
Nice.
Oh, Okay. Yeah. They have a bunch in London for sure. But I was at this hookah bar, dude, and it was a group of these guys from the Gulf, and it was one of their birthday, and they were just like, you know, cutting cake up, putting on the plates, and one of the dudes that I was sitting next to, he just hands me a plate and a cake and a fork, and I'm like, thank you. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to say no. He just offered it. You want one? I was like, sure. I was like,
yeah,
awesome.
You, man. These guys, they just like to have a good time, and you know what? They want people around them to enjoy themselves too.
Yeah,
you know?
no, they do. They do. Yeah, they're like I said, their hospitality. I mean, they're they know how to welcome guests and make people feel good. It's like we could learn a thing or two.
Man. Yeah. Shoot, man. But I would love to keep talking, but I actually got to get some sleep.
Yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate you as always.
Appreciate you too, guys, and thank you everybody for watching us. Peace and love to all of yous. I'm sure we'll be hearing from each other tomorrow as well, because I'm sure more news is going to come out.
And Jason, remember, you get an extra hour tonight.
Yes, daylight savings time is tonight for those on the East Coast. Set your clocks back an hour. You get an extra hour.
For me here, so I'm going to set my clock back as well. So
that just means my girls are going to wake me up an hour. So
you're going to be smacking.
It's all good. But peace and love to you, gang. Have a great night, and we'll see y'all next time.
Have a good night.
You too, guys.